I am the former Minister of Mental Health and Addictions and Associate Health Minister in the federal government. And these days I am excited to be writing again on my Substack and also consulting and advising to amazing organizations and projects all over the country and also internationally.
What are you writing about on your Substack these days?
So I just actually put out a Substack on how we can do politics better, which is probably why I came today, is that I am really excited about a new era of politics where we get back to the calm and steady voice rather than rage farming or outrage, which just fuels polarization. I think people, Canadians, and I know families that I've spoken to are really looking for a moment of radical kindness. You don't have to be nice in politics today. You need to be kind. And kind doesn't mean that you are the favorite person in the room.
Yeah.
Kindness is often about looking at reality for what it is, like the situation that Canada is in. Right now, Mark Carney is speaking to Canadians about what the reality is and having the calm and steady path forward to keep us on the right track. And I think that's what people want right now. They want balance. They want steadiness, and that comes from radical kindness of just being able to sit with what's uncomfortable and say, we're going to figure this out together, and we are going to make a plan that works. So coming here today, hearing about how we amplify radical kindness, how we amplify voices that are about action and change and not about outrage.
Do you think that it's a challenge for politicians to be able to bring that radical kindness and authenticity, but also kind of stay on that agenda?
I think it's challenging if you don't know your facts. I think it's challenging if you are fighting against a noisy space that is really laden with a lot of really big feelings, but aren't necessarily rooted in fact. And I think the balance or the challenge is, how do you connect to someone in terms of their feelings and the authenticity and steer them towards the facts? That's really, I think, where politicians today need to go, because what we're seeing from conservatives is they're keeping them in the feelings and in the outrage, but they're not moving Canadians into a space of having confidence that we can move forward and get out of these hard spaces that Canadians are finding themselves in affordability, in housing costs, in a precarious economy. It's easy to stay in the fear of that. The challenge will be that to be kind enough to say, hey, I see you, I feel you, but this is how we need to move. And that's where you have the combination of authenticity, but also really showing action rather than outrage.
Very well said. And one of my last questions for you is, you've been in government, you're now consulting. What theme or advice are you bringing to your clients? Because right now the government seems to be very focused on economic, major Canadian projects, makes sense with the tariff war, everything else going on in the world. And how are you advising them based on your experience of being in the machine of government?
So for me, I really believe in a good social policy is good economic policy. And I think you're seeing this from the Carney administration. I think people need to hear more about it, and people are feeling vulnerable. They're feeling vulnerable in terms of their health care. They're feeling vulnerable in terms of their access to health care, and people are still very vulnerable about their mental health and their resiliency. So for me, my wheelhouse, being mental health, is to say, what tools do we have in play and what tools are on the table to get us to that healthy Canadians are Canadians that are going to build a strong economy. And I think we're seeing more of that, and that's really what I'm telling my clients.
Well said, Yara. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.